this is so interesting to talk about now. Like, tell me if you think this is boring in the chat. Like, I think it's fascinating, so I'm going to go through it. So this is what Richard wrote. I'm assuming this is, I don't know if I should make assumptions. I think this is like his list of things. I think he wrote it just based on the style and stuff like that, because I've seen his writing style and all that. It could have been another PulseChain dev, could have been anyone. But I think it's fascinating to see back then. So this was 2021. This is 2.5 years ago. Let's see. Is it 3 years ago? No, 2.5 years ago, 2022, 2023. 2.5 years ago. About what RH was thinking as far as PulseChain stuff goes. So we got PulseChain mainnet MVP. This MVP is minimally viable product. So the minimal to launch, basically, in dev speak. This is what we need to get out the door. This is the product we need to produce to get out the door, and then we can do all the other stuff later. Kind of like, I think of PulseX as MVP. Like, it doesn't have, you know, all the features we talked about a million times, but it works. It does what it's supposed to do, and it's, you know, contributing part of the ecosystem, all that stuff. It's good enough without all the bells and whistles that may or may not be coming later on. So this is what Richard was thinking for the mainnet, or Richard or the devs, whatever, whoever wrote this, was thinking for the mainnet thing to get out there, the minimal thing you want to do. So testnet, of course, again, everything has a private testnet if it's not public, if you're still working on it, just by the nature of development. So right now, I'm going to speculate there is a private PulseX testnet which may or may not have all kinds of bells and whistles on it, that the devs maybe have been working on for months now, and, you know, are just going to release on a timing basis when, you know, they believe it's going to make the most you know, bang in the bull market when retail's in and all this stuff. So testnet, of course, got to get testnet out, and then go.hex.com. Does anyone remember this? But go.hex.com didn't work very well for a while with PulseChain when it first came out, and then a lot of people started using the app.icosa.pro interface. So we had other places to use it, and, you know, you can manage your Hedron, Icosa stuff, and Wats's and stuff there. Anyways, a lot of people were using. Regardless, I still love the classic interface. I still like using it, but it didn't work so well at first. So even that was, you know, apparently 2.5 years ago. So a year and a half before that, in progress. So maybe they were working on it back then at some point. Bridges. So ETH, and he says large ERC20s. So does that mean an ETH bridge? What is the large ERC20? 4 large ERC20s or separate bridge-like products specifically for the bigger coins or something? I'm not sure on that, what he was thinking, but or what they were thinking either. So anyways, interesting thing about bridges. So PulseChain support for the Hex portal, testnet, at least ETH bridge, Uniswap V2 front end for PulseChain. So this is ETHEX. If you've never been to ETHEX.com, it's basically just another front end for the Uniswap polls and stuff like that. If you go to, here you go real DeFi, and you click exchange. So there's exchange PulseX, of course, and there's exchange ETH. If you click that, it's been decentralized. So if you go to ETHEX.com, you'll see the decentralized version. So if you go to Go Real DeFi and then click on exchange ETH, you have the gateway here, the verifiable gateway you can check out. And again, this is how you can use EHEX, buy EX, and do all this stuff without all the gatekeeping Uniswap. A lot of people know about this. For me, I don't really use it that often. I don't think, because honestly, there's plenty of EHEX bridged over to PulseChain, so I like just doing that. But there's plenty of different ways to get access to EHEX without the Uniswap gatekeeping stuff. But anyways, if you don't know what that is, EHEX is that. So Uniswap V2 front end for PulseChain. You already have it. Maybe you want to do something else. Maybe you want to rename a copy, make it, ungatecap.com. I don't know. And then we got Block Explorer. So Block Scout. So right now we have, click on Explorer. We have Scan, and it is Block Scout. And then we also have Otter. So if you do otter.pulsechain.com, it is the other Block Explorer. That is the default, I guess. I don't know. They're both good in different ways. They're both adequate different ways. I don't think anyone would call them like, oh, this is the place where I found all the information. You can find it. But yeah, I think everyone's looking for the better block explorer, which maybe one day we'll get on. I don't know. But that was on the list. Hopefully Etherscan. Apparently he was thinking about, maybe forking Etherscan or otherwise. Very interesting. And then post MVP. So this is after, this is, again, what we can think about could be happening. I don't want to say expect. How can I say the word expect without saying the word expect? I mean, I guess we can have expectations, but we shouldn't have expectations. So if you want to expect something, this is not the best place to do it. But if you want to get an idea of what the PulseChain devs and stuff were thinking about as far as future plans, again, no promises or anything like that, post MVP, so post launch, you could just say trading. So the pancake swap fork. Again, PulseX is not a Uniswap V2 fork, it is a pancake swap fork, but pancake swap V2 was based on Uniswap V2. So you can get by with saying it, but you're kind of leaving out some details, which is, the farming and stuff aspect, which is big with pancake swap. So fork of Uniswap with LP rewards, insanely important. You'll see this? Insanely important. LP rewards for PRC20, ERC20, PRC20 pairs. This is why I think that the whole, ERC, PRC parity deal, or at least value proposition is not dead. I know Richard last year said, he was trying to get other communities involved and tagging them and stuff. And just, last year, at least it didn't work out as far as getting the PRC20 copies super pumping and stuff, other than the wrap Bitcoin, maybe, some other outliers from time to time, but it wasn't sticky last year, at least. This year, this is literally all caps, insanely important. This is one of the core fundamental principles and ideals and important things of the ecosystem. So I never thought it was dead. I just thought, hey, I think it'll come back at some point. And whether you like it or not, that's a big part of what used to be all of the ideals that have been written down and shared publicly. And then coin ranking site for PRC20s. Yeah, so there's a lot of things we haven't seen yet. They're on this list. That's one of them. There's other community ranking sites and stuff right now too. But yeah, apparently the devs were thinking about a coin ranking site for PRC20s as ideal post PulseChain launch. Then we got the wallet, replace MetaMask. So this is something, and Richard talked about again recently. He's mentioned PulseChain wallet, but he's also shouting out community projects. He's also talked about internet money and, told people about them through tweets and stuff too. And the hard work that, they've been putting in to be a PulseChain focused or, heavily supported wallet too. So replace MetaMask. This is, I guess, maybe you could say the original idea, or again, whatever ideal that we have access to, at least publicly here. Replace MetaMask Electron app. So Electron app is just a cross-platform framework that you can write. I think what is it, like JavaScript? Basically JavaScript on your desktop. All kinds of, not the most secure framework to write software in. You can write it in there. Maybe Richard's thinking about, Ethereum has all this attack surface, but hey, if you get it audited and you put a lot of effort and security, it can still work fine. Of course, we have hacks through that too. But yeah, Electron is just a framework for doing, making basically like web apps on the desktop type of thing. A lot of security stuff with that, but again, there's plenty of wallets and stuff like that already that work fine. I would honestly prefer a browser-based one. I like browser-based ones in general, but Electron, yeah, very popular, at least back then. Who knows if Pulse Wallet's still going to happen or not? But he has consistently mentioned it every once in a while. So definitely don't think it's dead. But we have community options now, or just try to make MetaMask work as best as possible. To me, it's a necessary evil. They're not going in the direction of decentralization. They're not going in the direction of privacy. But there's a lot of things you can do to help with that. I literally added to Go Real DeFi a privacy playlist here. So if you go to Go Real DeFi, click privacy. The first video, I recommend everyone watch this. Prevent MetaMask interference from spying on your crypto. There's simple things you can do for MetaMask to make it a lot more, to preserve a lot more privacy. So check that out. Again, all the links right here. And then let's see. So PRC twin. So Uniswap, but across chains. That one's interesting. So apparently a DEX, across chain DEX. That's what this means. Cross chain DEX. So I'm not sure if you meant aggregator. Because for example, there's the Power City PortalSwap.io, which is a cross DEX, cross chain aggregator of DEX and stuff, of the different LP pools across chain stuff. But, or this means some other thing or ideal or technology he was thinking of, or they were thinking of. I don't know. More bridges to start. More bridges to start. Maybe it's the ETH one was, I mean, the bridge, maybe that's what that was referring to. BTC, BNB, BCH. I'm not sure BCH is still on there. Could be. It's not as popular as it used to be, I don't think. The BNB is definitely very popular. I think there's community stuff on that. Bitcoin bridge could be interesting. I mean, I don't know. We can do Solana bridge. I think whatever is hottest is probably worth supporting on the bridge thing. It's whatever can take value from a hot value chain with a lot of value and a lot of transaction stuff going on over to PulseChain. If you know, that's what I would think would be interesting to target and do. Network PulseChain port to Aragon from Geth. Port to Aragon from Geth. Oh, so he's talking about clients here, maybe? Maybe he was. So there's 4 different clients that are supported with validators to support the network. Geth, Aragon, Prism, and Lighthouse. So we have 2 clients for each. There's execution layer and the consensus layer. We have 2 clients from each, which is good for client diversity and all this stuff. I've talked about it before. Search RHMax client diversity if you want to understand more about that. Here he's apparently not considering the 4 different ones. He's just thinking, oh, let's just use Aragon instead of Geth, maybe because Aragon has different advantages and stuff like that too. So yeah, just an interesting nuance there. Uniswap V3 front end. So yeah, he's talking about V3 dexes here. You know, PulseX. So we know PancakeSwap. The V2 side of it is what we have today with PulseX. And then, but even here, he's like, yeah, there's V3. He's even thinking about V3 here. So do we get a PulseX V3 at some strategic moment? Maybe. At least he was, or if they, again, I don't know if this is Richard's list, don't know if the dev's list, don't know if it's a combination. I don't know. At least they were thinking about it at some point back then. And now we get to stablecoin. Stablecoin from exchange I'm making. I've heard about, I remember the exchange. I did a tweet. See if I can find it real quick. This was things Richard hasn't done yet. How would I search for this? Let's do exchange museum. Let me just do museum. That's a keyword. There we go. Things Richard Hart has talked about building, but we haven't seen yet. Drop this in here too. The exchange, museum, wallet, NFT platform. They mentioned NFT platform on the Christmas stream, I think. That was like one of the clips from that. So that's interesting. So yeah, he's talked about, so this is 2 actually. So he's talking about stablecoins and exchange. So exchange is 1, so centralized exchange, you know, that's what it sounds like that is. And then stablecoin, so its own stablecoin. I mean, you got all the PDI theories, you got all that stuff. We got, I mean, the world's largest DAI holder is the PulseX SAC. So who knows if it's going to be DAI or a new stablecoin. What if it comes out with a new stablecoin that is backed by DAI, either PulseChain DAI or eDAI, whatever. Again, I'm not promoting any PRC 20 copies or anything like that. I'm just thinking in general of the whole ecosystem, the way it's laid out, and the different games that can be played. You know, how would he back the stablecoin? He's got a ton of DAI, and just looking at DAI on Ethereum in particular, that's all a lot of money. It's all worth a lot of money. It's all worth $1, right? That's how much does he have? It's like 600. Is it 600 million? To bring up the war chest, I think it's like 600 million or so. Somebody correct me if that's not right, but yeah, that's gonna be interesting. And then aggregator, so replace 1.0 with market orders and limit orders. So it's a DEX aggregator, liquidity aggregator deal. That's something we have in the community too. We have limit orders different places with Omnis and 9-inch and maybe 9mm has some stuff too. So the community is doing some of that stuff too. But yeah, it's on the list of post-launch that Richard talking about. Could be this year, could be next year, could be never. But this is, this is what we talked about, or the PulseChain devs at least have talked about in the past. Margin trading. Everyone out there that says Richard hates leverage trading and all that stuff too. I think I've did streams and talked about this before. I think for the average person, he believes it's unhealthy. But if I were to speculate how Richard made a lot of money, I would think he, again, I'm just guessing. I have no idea. But I could see him making a lot of money using leverage with Bitcoin and stuff through the cycles. And him just growing his wealth over time using advanced tactics like that. Now, is it for everyone? No. A lot of people lose money doing it? Yes. Have we talked about it a million times? Yes. But it's literally on his list. Margin trading is literally on his list to do after PulseChain. So it's kind of one of those things. A lot of stuff he says, I don't take it directly for everyone. I think he speaks generally to a large group of people, which most of them, may not be successful doing different risky things or different advanced tactics in crypto. But he even shouted out Fame.io, community built project the other day, as one of the 3 he has talked about recently. So take it for what you will. I'm not saying anyone should or shouldn't margin trade, but he definitely has different takes on it, I think, and I think it's good to take them with nuance instead of just directly all the time. And then Tornado.cash. So we have Hexnado already. I think, is that still up? I'm not sure if Hexnado is still up. I don't know if I've ever checked it out. I've always heard of it. But Tornado.cash, so yeah, maybe there's a privacy deal at some point. But man, what a list. What a list. This is the PulseChain mainnet MVP. This is the to do before launch, which all of those happened. Yeah. To launch, we had a testnet. We had eventually Hex.com working with PulseChain. We had the bridges. We had the bridge. We have the bridge. We have PulseX. We have ETHEX. And we have the block explorer. And we even have PulseX. So this was even everyone's like, oh, Richard didn't deliver. Well, first of all, no expectations. You sacrificed your money. Second of all, he actually, according to this list, if you were to go by that, maybe he over-delivered. He actually had PulseX as well, which, who knows if he even thought about PulseX before. If he wrote this down, maybe PulseX was an afterthought at that point, or do it later or whatever. But this guy, billionaire genius founder guy, tends to have good judgment and make good decisions. So yeah, very cool stuff. Very cool. All right, I've ignored chat the entire time, so I'm going to talk to you guys and then wrap up. Oh yeah, his own country. That is true. There's Hexco. Did I tweet or I saw some video, but I was looking for some Hexco references today. And I came across a very interesting video. I shared it or not, but of him. I'll try to get these things of him talking about Hexco and different ideals for countries and stuff. That was really cool. And I might have to repost that one or otherwise post it because it was pretty cool. All right, let's go from the top. Pablo says, how long do you think it'd take to break through sack rate sellers? No idea, man. No idea. But heard a lot of people say they really like the direction PulseChain is going right now. I see a lot of streamers who I've never seen before and have a lot of followers that keep making videos about it. So I'm quite bullish. I'm definitely the bullish I've ever been the last few weeks, for sure. 2 more weeks. Yep, just 2 more weeks. All this stuff will be done from the person we expect nothing from. Yes. Never know, man. Like this stuff could come fast. He gets quiet and then just starts tweeting every once in a while. It's pretty cool. Charleston, when we talk about it, that's when I asked, hey, is this stuff boring when we talk about it? I thought it was fascinating. So I'm glad we have a conversation to go through each one because